welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Astrid. I do travel and fashion videos every week, and this week I decided to tackle a subject that implies two of my favorite subjects to talk about, which is fashion and travel. I've been getting a lot of questions of you guys who are from America and looking to go around Europe, or who are Europeans that want to do a Eurail trip about where to thrift. And so I thought I'd do a video about it because I think it's a very cool subject. And yeah, if you like travel or fashion videos, feel free to subscribe to my channel because that's what I do. And like this video if you liked it, and comment anything if you think and leave a comment if you agree, disagree, or have something to add to what I'm gonna say. And without further ado, let's get on to the video. So I love thrifting while I travel simply because that's a really cool way to me to bring a souvenir home without bringing like something that everyone's gonna wear, like a t-shirt with written Berlin on it, which I have, but you know, it's just a way to like bring something special back home that's a bit different and that's a very unique piece. And in general, if you're a thrift addict like I am, thrifting anywhere is always great. So yeah, I'm gonna go through all the countries where I've thrifted and tell you what I think of it, what type of thrifting it is, and whether it's worth it or not. So yeah, I'm gonna start with my homeland, which would be France. And thrifting in France is really not the best, simply because outside of Paris, things are cheap but not really amazing. Like, you could find some cool thrift places, but they're most likely gonna be quite expensive. Although, for example, Angers is quite a cool city to thrift in. Lille, you can find some spots that are not too bad. I'm guessing Marseille have some cool stuff as well. But in general, it's hard to thrift in France outside of Paris. And thrifting in Paris itself is so expensive. Like, in France, we don't really have like proper thrift cheap places. Like, it's more vintage like. So if you're looking for really cool luxury vintage, or really nice, really like time vintage, like really actual old vintage clothing, then Paris is good, but you will have to put the price for it. So yeah, thrifting in Paris is more like for expensive old designer luxury pieces, or really old stuff. Of course, there are some like normal thrift places, but these are really pricey for actual thrift places. Like, you won't find a lot of things for like 1 or 2 euros. It'll be like from 7 euros and up. So yeah, next up would be London and like the UK in general. London itself is quite cool. It is a little more expensive than outside of London, obviously, but you can still find like correct prices and really cool stuff. One of the things that I love about thrifting in England, because I've mostly thrifted outside of London, is that you always find stuff. And especially at charity shop, like charity shop are so worth it, which is not really the case in France. Like, Emmaus is okay, but it's not like crazy good. Whereas, for example, British Heart Foundation, where I was, British Heart Foundation and the Red Cross were like really cool thrift places. Also, one of the things I love about England, like about the UK, is that you have those places. Like for us, it was called Welshpool, and when you go there, it's in Wales. And if you go to Welshpool, like, you have like streets full of thrift shop, and you find the best thing there. I actually started to shop secondhand when I was in England, because before that, because I was in France, I didn't really do it, because it's not like the thrift places in France are really not so good. So I started really thrifting in England, and I absolutely loved it. So I got really obsessed about it, and it didn't stop since. So yeah, thrifting in England is really cool. In London, you'll find from the very cheap and everyday stuff up to the very luxurious and more expensive high-end things. So what I really love about the UK though is that you can thrift pretty much anywhere, and you'll find like everything from like very low to very high, and you always find some really unique pieces, because British fashion in general is kind of unique. So you're sure to find something unique there, and you could find it for any price tag, which is pretty cool. So yeah, England definitely a place to a place to thrift in, and I had so much fun there. And yeah, next country would be Germany. I wouldn't recommend thrifting outside of Berlin really, simply because I don't remember ever finding a good thrift place outside of Berlin, and I've been like up down south and up north, and I never ever find a good thrift place there. But in Berlin, the thrift shops here are crazy. They're so good. There are a few vintage places where it's gonna be a little more expensive, but then in this case it's like actually like pros place. Like you will find like original 70s stuff, original 50s, 60s, 40s, like anything. And they are like actual original pieces, and they're so beautiful, and then they'll be a little bit pricier. But in general, Berlin is a great place to thrift for very cheap and find really cool stuff, especially since, for example, there's a lot of Italian people here, so you'll find a lot of like high quality Italian made shirts or trousers here, because there's so many Italians coming here. For example, I already find 2 shirts here who are amazing, and they're both like Italian made, and they're like the fabric's amazing, the cut's amazing, everything's amazing. So definitely like thrifting in Berlin is amazing. Definitely give it a shot. Next up would be Brussels. Brussels is a amazing place to thrift. Like I had the most bargain things there. I would recommend, for example, Le Petit Rien in XL's corner. There you have like, it's crazy. This thing is like 4 stocks high, and you have the best things. What I love about Brussels is that they have very affordable thrift shops with really cool stuff. Like it's not in France. If you're gonna pay like in France, in a cheap thrift shop, you only find like useless stuff. Whereas in Brussels, you can find amazing thrift finds, even for the cheapest price, and I love that about it. I was there only 2 months, and I found so much stuff, and I absolutely love it. I always had so much fun, and it was so crazy cheap. But if you're a thrift addict and you're going to Brussels and Berlin, you are gonna be so happy, because the stuff there is amazing. It's actually so nice. Next country would be, I went to Hungary, in Budapest. There it was really cool. Like you don't find the thrift places are not that cheap. They're actually quite a lot more pricey than I expected them to be. However, you find like the most unique stuff there. It's actually crazy. When I was in Budapest, I bought this electric blue fur coat that is so cool. It sounds really cool, totally crazy like that, but it's actually so cool. I wear it all the time. I don't have it right now, but back in France I used to wear it all the time, and it just, what I love about Budapest is that the thrift places where I went are places where I bought some stuff that were really unique, that I never saw before, and that like, yeah, so if you're thrifting in Budapest, expect to find like really crazy unique pieces that are like breathtaking. They are going to be a little more pricey than you would expect them to be, but it's totally worth it, because you know, it's just bringing this souvenir home that's like unique and like very special to you, and I think it's really cool. So yeah, next place where I was like actually mind blown by was Amsterdam. The thrift game in Amsterdam is like a whole new level. I didn't find any really cheap thrift places when I was in Amsterdam. However, like they do have like real vintage shop, and vintage shopping in Amsterdam is like a gold mine. They have everything there, and they have the coolest stuff, and it's not that expensive. It's not as expensive as Paris, for example. So you could find really cool stuff for actually a normal price. So if you're in Amsterdam, definitely hit the vintage shop, because you are going to find amazing pieces. Especially if you're into like 50s, 60s, 70s style, you're going to be so happy. And if you're more into 80s and 90s, Berlin is your damn place. You're going to be like finding everything there. So yeah. Next country or place, next place would be Italy, and I only went to Rome. But I tried to thrift in Rome and I didn't find anything. I just didn't like the thrift places in Rome. They were like dirty, and they were like really expensive. For example, we searched for the street with the most thrift places, and it was like this really little road with like 5 thrift shops, and they were really dirty and they were quite expensive. You do find some cool things there, but they're very, very expensive and they smell very bad, so I wasn't a big fan of thrift shopping in Rome. Also, little tip, if you're thrifting in Europe, except for the UK, France and Amsterdam, definitely look for Humana. The rest of Europe, there's this charity thing called Humana, and the Humana thrift shops are the best thing ever. Out of 4 thrift shops here in Berlin, out of my 4 favorites in thrift shops in Berlin, 3 of them are Humana shops. When I went in Budapest, I did like 7 thrift shops, and I only bought things in 2 places, and they were both Humanas. Same with Latvia. In Latvia, I bought from a Humana shop. Humana shops are so damn cool. They have the best stuff, they have the cheapest stuff, and they're amazing. So if you're thrifting in Eastern Europe, hit the Humana stores because they are freaking amazing, and you're gonna find the best pieces there. So yeah, that's all for me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe and leave a comment on what you thought of this video, and if you have any suggestion or anything. And yeah, that's all for me today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next week with a new one. Bye!